Hi everyone and welcome to today's Chrissy B Show. We are the UK's only TV programme that's dedicated to your mental health and well-being. Now imagine having it all, a happy family, money flowing in from a well-paid trade, a holiday home in sunny Florida, and then losing it all. What do you think you would do and how would you build yourself back up? My real life story guest Richard Eckley found himself in this very situation. He was married with 3 children living in Swansea when the building trade was booming. As a carpenter working on new build sites, the money was flowing in and he even bought a 4-bedroom villa in Florida. But something happened and he lost everything, and he also got divorced. He'll be telling us all about it and how he has since rebuilt his life. Also on today's show, we'll be featuring our visit to Vida Bakery, a bakery with lots of delicious cakes, all vegan and gluten-free. We're also getting all your nutrition and medical questions answered by our experts, nutritionist Soutter and Dr. Rob Hicks. Also, we have some great advice from our Declutter Expert Sally Walford about decluttering to help those with dementia. And the reason we're talking about this today is because we're also featuring a good cause. Now, we often see many scare stories in the media about dementia or only hear about the biomedical aspects of the condition. So to dispel the myths and give us the facts, we have on Louise Bates, who is a Dementia Friends Officer at the Alzheimer's Society. She'll be telling us their 5 key messages, and some of what she'll be talking about might actually surprise you. So as you can see, plenty of great content and lots to get through. So let's first speak to our real life story guest, Richard Eckley. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Thank you very much, Chrissy.
So you've been on quite a journey, haven't you? Because you had it all, lost it all, and started to build your life back up. But you had an injury, didn't you? But can you tell us what life was like before the injury and how you built your success?
Yeah, sure, yeah. If you go back to like 2005, I said the building industry was in the boom. So everyone's having, if you remember before the actual recession hit in 2005 was a great time. The building industry was flat out. Everything was going really well. Work was going well, money was coming in. And we had a lovely sort of holiday to America with the kids to Disney, really enjoying life. And then we sort of saw a villa out there, so we thought, we're on holiday, money's going well, we'll buy a villa, as you do.
It's like that, just buy a villa. Yeah, you must have been doing really well just to buy a villa like that.
The exchange rate was good as well, because the exchange rate was like $2 to the pound back then, so everything was like half price, so it looked amazing.
Bargain.
So yeah, so we thought, all right then, so we bought the villa, and it was all going well, sort of rented out. Everything was going along nicely. We thought, oh, happy days, life is good, nice pool.
Was stuff good with the family as well?
Everything was going on, yeah, with the kids, the wife was good, everything was just going really well. We was all happy. So had 3 kids, and they were all sort of like, they were young then, but enjoying life, and really, everything was just going along really smoothly and really good. Okay. And then it was then about 2007, the recession sort of started to hit a little bit. It hit in America first of all, before it hit the UK. So we started to notice that the rentals started to dry off a little bit on the housing market. We sort of rented it out, and that started to dry up a bit. Yeah. And then I was at work, and what happened then, I was on work, and I stepped back, starting the generator up, and I tore my calf muscle. Have you ever done it? It's a weird feeling. It's like someone gets a piece of wood and whacks you in the back of the leg, and you just suddenly go, what is that? And that's really painful. But it was on a Thursday, so I thought, oh, well, I'll just rest at the weekend, back to work. I went to the hospital, and they said, well, no, you've actually torn your calf muscle. You can't work for at least 4 or 5 weeks. So I thought, yeah, right, I'm self-employed. That means no earnings for 4 or 5 weeks. And while this was going on, of course, then the recession then was kicking in over in the UK. So then what happened then, I was unfortunately, all the rentals dried up over there. Wow. And I'd been off work for sort of 5-6 weeks. So then all of a sudden,
hit at once.
Yeah, everything hit at the same time. And it was just like, oh my God. So I was trying to sort of keep the mortgage then going over in America, trying to pay for everything in America, plus the mortgage in the UK. And it was just sort of getting worse and worse, and just a worse knock-on effect. And just things were going sort of downhill fast. It's surprising how you can be sort of up here one year and then the following year, it's just, where's that all gone? What's just something happened?
So this was, what's the duration? Was it about a year then?
It was probably about 2 years. 2005 was when we bought the villa. And then by 2007, 2 years, it'd gone from sort of really good to all of a sudden, whoosh, shooting down like, really heck of a shock. So they thought, right, so it was 2007, and then we was getting sort of bills in from the solicitors over in America saying they're chasing us for the money we've got to pay, so we dropped now behind the mortgage. I thought, well, I can't actually pay that mortgage anymore, but I can still do the UK mortgage, which is priority, so it was the family home. So we started keeping that going, and I thought, right, I can't pay that. So then they were sending me some like threatening letters saying you have to pay this. It's $350,000, paying them. And I'm just, you're going to take you to court and all this sort of thing coming from America. But I was, in a way, I was lucky because the recession was such a bad, there's a lot of people in the same sort of boat. We all sort of bought houses and thought this is great, wonderful. Yeah. When it all went wrong, fortunately, I was lucky being in the UK. They didn't chase us in the UK because they'd have to go through the courts to get a license to actually take us to court in the UK. That was one thing. I didn't realise at the time they hadn't chased us with so many recessions going on. So then I thought, well, there's no work. I'd gone back to site after the 5 weeks with my leg, went back to work, literally on the building sites. When work stops, they just fenced the whole site off and it's closed down. There's no work there.
So even though you could work, then you couldn't.
There was no work. Yeah. There was no work. And you sort of drove around all the sites in the area. There was just no work anywhere, nowhere to be had. One site still meant a day's work here or there, which won't do a mortgage or anything. So I had lived in Guernsey for 3 years back in my early 20s. So I thought, I've got some friends out there still, and Guernsey is one of the Channel Islands just off France. It's lovely over there. But they don't usually get hit by the recessions. There's a huge banking community out there. So I thought, I've got some friends out there, so I'll get in contact with them. So I gave them a ring up, and they said, well, yeah, you can start work over here. I'll go over there for a couple of weeks and have a bit of work. So I thought, oh, happy days. At least there's some money coming in to help pay the mortgage.
How long did you end up staying there, though?
I lived there for a year in the end. But
away from your family?
Yeah. I got back every sort of 6 weeks, but that was the worst. The first time I went there was just for 2 weeks to earn some money. Then I realised having to have sort of pay for me digs over there and do everything over there, I couldn't actually afford to come back in 2 weeks. I had to wait 6 weeks. Wow. And then I could come back for a weekend and go back again for another 6 weeks.
So what impact did that have then on family,
that was
marriage,
horrific. I mean,
everything?
On my son really upset me the worst thing possibly because I've got ulcerative colitis. I've had that for years, but I've been fine with it. And that triggered it in him at the age of 5, which is something just you don't want your kids to go through and try and cope with that. So he was at 5 suffering with ulcerative colitis and was trying to sort of help him out to make him better. But I obviously wasn't there as well sometimes, so I was working away. And I think that was the worst moment is when you're getting in your car and you're driving away and you can see your kids in your mirror and...
It's okay. Brings back some tough memories, yeah?
They're waving goodbye to you. Yeah. And you know you're not going to see them for 6 weeks. And when you're I was really a family man. I never worked weekends. There was a joke on the running site, on the site saying, don't ask Rich to work weekends. He never works weekends. Weekends, family time. Yeah. So I would... Sorry. Okay. I would never leave my family. And it was just... Yeah.
Well, you had to.
There was no option.
You had no choice.
Yeah, there was no option.
You did what any good dad would do.
Yeah, but it was just... Oh, yeah, and that was the worst thing. Every time I knew the 6 weeks we'd coming home for a weekend, wonderful. Yeah. But then you knew on that Sunday night, I'd have to drive away and leave them for the 6 weeks. And with the kids, it was all like 9, 6 and 4. And they're just... so young and they're growing up and oh my God.
You had to be so strong for everyone.
Oh yeah, it was a nightmare.
Even though like you were going through all those emotions and missing your family, knowing that they were missing you, but you had to do something. You couldn't just let...
No, because then the house would have been gone in the UK as well, so it was just...
Exactly.
Yeah, nightmare.
Richard, if you can fast forward now, I mean, you did like get through these tough times. Yeah. Your relationship did break down though in the process because of that kind of distance and stuff. Yeah, the thing. Like then, then sort of like after I came back, sort of like things had changed when I came back. I could tell things had changed in the family home. Just gonna go. And then there was sort of 4 years we tried to sort of keep the marriage going for the kids, but she'd gone different ways, and it just unfortunately, no matter what you try and do, sometimes it just won't work out. So we then actually divorced. But I was in a situation now, I'm a single dad. She had gone off with someone, so she was settled down herself. But I had the kids then. So I was then in this stage, right, I'm now a single dad. And of course, the previous 20 years we've been married, is 2 incomes coming in. So you cover all the bills, everything else, it's fine. All of a sudden, you're a single dad with 1 income coming in. You've got to still, all the bills are still exactly the same, but you just got one less salary coming in. A lot of people in your situation will think, I don't think I could, like, they think they can't get through times like that. Yeah. And they think like it's impossible. Might as well just give up. But you kept going.
Well, you just do, don't you? It's every day. You do something just literally every day. Right, go to work, get the jobs done. Make sure the kids got food. Make sure they're clean. Make the house is clean. And you do
like
it
step by step.
Well, it's just something you do. Don't you? You just keep doing it. As you don't. Yeah. I think you can plan the future as much as you want to. But it's the things you do on a daily basis, what makes a difference in the long term. So it's just doing those little bits every day and slowly moving forward. And it was someone who introduced me to a Jim Rohn seminar. I mean, have you heard of Jim Rohn or not? Yeah, amazing bloke. And I just saw, it's on YouTube, just one of his speeches there. And the thing was the talk about the geese, saying how geese have to fly south for the winter. So they've got genetic code, they have to go south every winter and come back. But humans aren't like that. We can actually choose our life. Any way we want to change our life, any direction, we can do that. Mm-hmm. And that hit such a huge thing in my mind, thinking, I can actually control my life. I thought, no, I can't control my life. I've been a control my life. That's what I can do. But I saw that and thought, well, I can do whatever I want to do. If I decide to do it, it's time to me to do it. It's just self-education. So you can move your life in a totally new direction. So that's when I started researching. I went into like Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor. I really delve into their trainings. And it changed
you're filling your mind with positive things, weren't you? And like inspirational content,
Yeah, just get control. We can all control our lives. There's a great thing to say. The last sort of 5 years of our life has got us where we are today. So if you want to change the next 5 years, it's what you do today. It gives you the 5 years future. And you think, well, that makes total sense, but you obviously don't put it in that way quite often.
So how did you change your life then? What did you do?
I actually started to write the books. That's why I started to write the books. That was the thing that changed my life, because I thought, the kids...
You've written your 4 keys to a healthier, happier you.
Yeah.
And you've got another one.
Yeah, I'm doing a Mastering Your Mindset, which is the next step. They're going to be like 5 books altogether. That's the first. And be 4 more books going deep on health, wealth, relationships and mindset. So I did the mindset first. So I actually asked on Facebook who would want... what book would people want first? And mindset was the 90% winner of all the time. Everyone wants more about mindset. We're in like an age now where mindset is so important, where we've also got a lot more time. Things have changed so much in the last, few decades. People have got more time on their hands now than we ever had before. We haven't got to work so much. We're all struggling still with finances. But it's our mindset we can control. And if we decide what we want to do with our lives, we can start to get control of our lives and move whatever we want to forward. But what a lot of people don't understand is they can't control themselves. A lot of people, I had a great analogy the other day, was saying, are you like a football or a spring well? If you're like a football, you're reacting to circumstances. You go over there, something hits you. You go over there, something hits you. And you just react to circumstances. But you're not doing anything controlling yourself. But if you're like a well, you're actually producing, you're creating something. So you can create your life by deciding what you want to do and then doing that step by step and moving yourself forward, whichever direction you want to go. And there's so many opportunities, there's so many things you can do.
You can see how excited you are about this, because obviously you saw your life so really like low and down and like such tough times, and now you've come through all that and your mindset has completely changed. How has writing your books actually helped you as well? Like
it's the researching part of it as well, because you only know what you know. As one thing, you can't sort of know what you don't know. And once you start to look into something, you start to get interested in it, you sort of learn more and you sort of develop it more. So I went down the health bit, then the wealth and the relationships and the mindset, and I thought, that's like an overall area, which we all need those 4 key things in life. So and I just started to slowly implement each one, get better health.
I just wanted to ask you a question. How's the love life nowadays?
Happy days, that's very good. Yes. So we got engaged. We got engaged last year to June. In June to Stacey. That was excellent.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're planning to get married in September next year.
I wonder if it's got to do anything to do with his like happy and excited. She's here supporting you, isn't she?
Oh, amazing. Stacey's amazing. She's amazing. Oh, I love her so much. She's brilliant. She's changed my life. Totally changed my life. And that's again with the relationship part of it. If you decide something you want in your relationship, if you actually got just a list of the traits you would love to have in your ideal partner, you bring it in your subconscious, and then you will actually find that person down the road. You'll find ways of doing it. And I did the same thing. I actually wrote a list of the ideal traits in the person, and Stacey came along. It was like a Facebook friend request. That's how we met. It was ridiculous. Didn't know her at all. Facebook friend request, and that's how we met.
That's amazing. Rich, I want to talk to you more, but we've run out of time, unfortunately. But thank you so much for coming. It's so great how things have changed for you.
Totally, thank you very much.
And all the best for the future.
Oh, thank you very much, Chrissy. It's been wonderful being here.
Have a lovely wedding.
We will.
Wonderful. Okay, everybody, so after the break, we'll be featuring our visit to Vida Bakery, which is a bakery with lots of delicious cakes, all vegan and gluten-free. And Lily Soutter is back to answer all your nutritional questions, such as this one. Why do I get so bloated when I eat bread? Even a small amount affects me. Find out the answer to this after this break. I did put the dance together because the dance actually shows the fight against depression. So as you know, you've got some punching moves in there. You've got that throwing out anything that's negative. So when you're actually doing the dance, just remember that the reason behind it is like you saying, I don't accept to be put down by any kind of problem, and I'm going to fight back.
We think it's a really, really important thing for them to be aware of being mentally and emotionally well as succeeding with their academic success. So when we heard about this dance, we just thought it was amazing.
We like to encourage students to open up if they are going through any problem, and let them know that it's okay to talk, that it's okay if you're going through a problem, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Waving the flags, I think it's like saying to your worries, go away and don't come back.
I found the dance, I thought everybody enjoyed it because it could represent our big and small feelings.
Stop, stop, stop! Stop, 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 step back and point and wave! Step and crush! Step and crush! Step and crush!
Do you think this challenge is so important?
I think it's very important because it's a very interactive way for young people to take part and know the stigma around mental health and actually make a change.
It was really energetic and everyone took part in it and really got in there.
I think it's more important because of the actual mental health, not like going on the telly, like the mental health part, because it's quite important. Like if you just ignore it, then a lot of bad things could happen.
I think it's really important in our school we do take it seriously. Our children are really young, but obviously we want to talk to them about feelings and to recognise the different feelings that they have.
Oxygen, are you ready? Yeah! Are you sure? Yeah!
Let's go! And turn! 2, 1, 2, 3, get up!
Great pleasure to present you with our official Chrissy B Show participative certificate.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a look at this. So everybody, today we're so excited because we are here at Vida Bakery in Brick Lane. I'm here with our beauty expert on the program, Sani Sorma. Hi, Sani.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Today we're not talking about makeup.
No, today we're talking about cakes, and no ordinary cakes, right? Because everything here is
vegan. It is egg-free, milk-free, and gluten-free.
Which is absolutely amazing. Now the cakes, as you can see, are looking so nice, right? We've chosen a few that we'd like to try out. So just to give you a little bit of background about Vida Bakery, they actually started 4 years ago. They were selling cakes online and on Instagram. And now they started a pop-up shop as well.
Down Brick Lane for 6 months, and now we are in the proper shop. That's really pretty.
Because it did so well, the pop-up shop, so they decided to actually start a business here. And it's beautiful. I love it. I mean, everything is cute. Look at the mugs with the V, the little milk pots. And this is oat milk, right?
Yes, this is oat milk.
Oat milk, yeah. The chairs are lovely. Look, I love this teapot with the flowers, everything. There's so much attention to detail here. It's just so cute and lovely. And I can't wait to taste the cakes now.
Me neither.
Okay, everyone, so let's just show you what we have here. We've got a sample. We are going to share this with the crew. We're not going to eat this all by ourselves, are we, Sally? Although we could.
Oh, I thought we were going to eat it all by ourselves.
So here we have the lemon curd cake. Then we have
This is cherry bakewell.
The cherry bakewell,
yes.
right? Do you remember what the cupcakes are?
Yes, I do. So this is the peanut and jelly. I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
It's so unusual. Red velvet, Earl Grey, and cookies and cream.
Amazing.
Are you proud of me?
I'm so proud of you.
all of them because they look so amazing.
I just can't wait to get stuck in.
I know, me too.
All right, cool. So I think we should try the bakewell slice first of all, shall we?
I'm going to try from this
Go on
end.
then.
Are you going to go for the frosting?
No, I like that bit.
Yeah, because that's where the cherries are.
What's the verdict?
Oh my god, it's so good. You can really taste it. I love cherries.
Very nice.
That is very nice. It's sweet, but not overly sweet.
Right, so this is the lemon curd.
Look at the vegan one.
Look at the little flower on it as well. It's so cute. Alrighty,
Are you going to just start from the flour?
No, I'm not. Do you want the flour?
No.
No, okay. So let's try this one.
I need a lot of curd.
That is delicious. So one more bit. So let's try the cupcakes now.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, this was the peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yes. Shall we just go for it?
Yeah.
There's
Just
a
move
cute
this one
little
out of the way.
heart on the top.
Yes, there is a cute little heart. What's the knife?
Let's put that. Knife is here.
Okay. So nice and moist. That's what we have inside.
Ooh.
Lovely, jubbly.
Oh, look at how much frosting there
I
is.
know.
I'm a frosting girl.
Go for it, my love.
Oh, Chrissy, that's incredible. If you love peanut butter, it's like very, very fluffy peanut butter.
Yeah. Which one next?
Because this one is really unusual.
Earl Grey.
That is Earl Grey.
Kind of want to try everything in here, don't you?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Oh, very nice.
Oh, look at that.
Let's cut this. We could actually do this for a living, Sunny.
I could easily
Cake
be like
sampling.
a cake sampler.
Earl Grey's in.
I feel like my palate is very...
I've given up with the fork. I'm trying to wait for the Earl Grey taste to come.
There's tea, but then there's something else.
Oh, there we
like
go.
a bergamot kind of thing. Not Earl Grey, it's bergamot.
Yeah. Lovely.
It's almost like florally, lavendery.
But not overpowering.
No.
It's delicate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's delicate. It's not like...
Lovely.
Whoo, eating roses.
Okay, so let's go for the next one. So, cookies, red velvet or cookies and cream?
Let's do red velvet.
All right.
Let's save the dark
put that one there.
chocolate to the very...
Okay.
Wow.
I cut these two smaller bits and she goes for the big one, but that's okay.
You can have the small bit. That's so cream cheesy.
Oh, nice.
That's beautiful.
Everything is so good.
I don't know what my favorite is anymore. I'm so confused. These are difficult decisions in life.
Yeah, let's try that one and then we can have our top two.
Top three.
All right, top three. All right. There you go. We can smell the chocolate as soon as you cut into it.
I know.
Okay. So let's
We're
try
both
this one as
chocolate
well.
girls. You cut very small pieces for yourself, Chrissy.
Well, because I'm thinking of the crew because they're just looking at me filming and salivating at the same time.
I'm kind of thinking of the crew as well, but you know,
You're
I
not.
also...
Okay.
I love chocolate.
Very good.
That just jumped into my top three.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did.
I have my favourite.
I have my favorite as well.
You go first.
Okay.
They're all lovely, I have to say.
They are all lovely. However, I would have to say that in third position for me would be, surprisingly enough, the Earl Grey.
Really?
I didn't think it would be, but
Okay.
I actually, because I'm surprised myself because I like a really florally taste. So Earl Grey number 3. Number 2 would be the peanut and jelly.
Okay.
It's incredible. And then number 1, I'm sorry, there's no competition on this, is the lemon curd cake, because that was incredible. That is my absolute favorite.
Alrighty,
What about
so
you?
my top 3. Number 3 is the peanut. What is it called?
Peanut and jelly.
Peanut and jelly. That one's very nice. Then I would say definitely the Bakewell cake as well. That was lovely, the cherry Bakewell. And again, my top 1, same as yours, Sunny.
I thought
that one as well.
I saw your eyes light up when you tasted that. I was like, oh.
So it was lovely. Honestly, it's been such a lovely experience here, don't you think? It
has.
Very nice atmosphere here in the shop. And
It is.
That's our verdict on on Vida Bakery. We loved it. Loved the atmosphere here. Loved the decor. Even the floor's really nice. I noticed the floor patterns. Really, everything's such attention to detail. So absolutely loved it.
Perfect.
So that's our verdict.
We loved it.
Cheers. Chin chin.
Chin.
So thank you very much to Vida Bakery for a lovely afternoon. So now it's time to speak to our nutritionist, Lily Soutter, to answer your questions. Welcome back to the show, Lily.
Thanks for having me.
So we've got a couple of questions for you from our viewers. So the first one is, I have a gut inflammation problem. Can honey be helpful to decrease or cure my problem? What's a gut inflammation problem, first of all?
This is hard to say. So
Yeah.
I think they're referring to potentially maybe even IBD. It's very difficult to say. So inflammatory bowel disease is gut inflammation. And if you do suffer from something as serious as that, honey is not going to be a cure in any way. But also for anybody who has gut inflammation, unfortunately, honey won't have an effect. And really, guidance from a nutritionist, a dietitian, and a healthcare provider should be taken on board. And I think, just as a side note, any one singular food won't cure any kind of condition in terms of whether it's medical condition or even milder symptoms. And we've got to think about diet and nutrition as supporting our management of symptoms rather than as a cure.
All right, okay then. And the next question, why do I get so bloated when I eat bread? Even a small amount affects me.
So it's an interesting point, because a lot of people do say that they struggle with bloating from bread, and it could potentially be the gluten element, which a lot of people immediately would associate bread with.
Yeah.
But interestingly, only around 1% of the population are currently diagnosed with celiac disease. And celiac disease is an autoimmune condition where you need to completely eradicate gluten from your diet.
Right.
If you suffer from bloating and other kind of digestive symptoms like stomach pain, maybe nausea, I would double check for celiac disease, getting tested.
Okay.
There is another subgroup of people who have non-celiac gluten sensitivity, and it means they've not been diagnosed with celiac disease. There is no diagnosis, there's no diagnostic marker or tool to check whether you have this condition. So there's a kind of a grey area, the murky waters behind it. But what is thought is that people may get symptoms like bloating in relation to gluten-containing foods, but they don't have gluten intolerant. Well, they don't have celiac disease.
Okay.
So that's another subgroup. And then lastly, it could have nothing to do with gluten. It could be another component of the bread, which are called FODMAPs. And FODMAPs are carbohydrate groups which are poorly absorbed within the small intestine. And a large proportion of people who do suffer with bloating also have an issue with these FODMAPs. So it could be numerous reasons, and it could be any one of those. And I think to double check with a dietitian, nutritionist, to find out what is actually the cause.
Are there, just on the subject of bread, are there any breads that are better to eat than others, would you say?
Well, it really depends on the cause. So for example, if she has a gluten intolerance or if she has celiac disease, then maybe most wheat-based breads and rye breads are not going to be suitable. So therefore you could think about a gluten-free alternative. But also I think what's really important to note is that if it is a FODMAP element, it's really important to just double check which breads are going to be suitable, because not all gluten-free bread is also low in FODMAP.
Okay. Lynn, thank you so much, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank you.
And everyone, don't go away, because we have lots more for you after the break, including Declutter Expert Sally Walford, who's going to be giving us some tips to help those with dementia. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, host of the UK's only TV programme dedicated to mental health and well-being, The Chrissy B Show, which airs on MyTV Sky 191 every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Follow our social media on YouTube, Instagram and Twitter at Chrissy B Show and our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. For more information, visit chrissybshow.tv. Welcome back to today's Chrissy B Show, everybody. And now it's time for Doctor's Answers with Dr. Rob Hicks. Hello, Rob.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm good. Are you ready to answer some questions?
Always ready.
You get happy when you come on this programme to answer your questions, don't you? Good. What's the email address in case anyone wants to contact you?
The email address is doctor@chrissybshow.tv.
Wonderful. So ready for the first one, Rob? I have a dark flaky spot on my leg about the size of a 10p piece. It's slightly raised. It's been there for 2 weeks and despite using creams, it's still there. What could the problem be?
Well, there's a number of things that this could be. And obviously, as we've said before on the show, when you've got spots or rashes, they're best seen by the doctor.
Yeah.
To make an accurate diagnosis. Interestingly enough, with this sort of spot, you could go along to your local pharmacist and ask them to have a look, because sometimes it might be something straightforward like a fungal infection, in which case they can diagnose that and they can give you the relevant treatment for it. And remember that the pharmacist, if they think you need to see the doctor, they'll say, look, I think you need to see the doctor about this.
Okay, that's good.
But the sort of things that spring to my mind is it could be a fungal infection like ringworm, for example, which despite its name is not caused by a worm. It's caused by fungus. Or it could be a type of eczema. So there's a type of eczema called discoid eczema, which is disc-shaped. Or it could be something like psoriasis, where you get a raised patch, which can be sort of flaky and can be itchy. So all those three conditions are the sorts of things that spring to mind. And the sort of questions I would have for you is, have you got this sort of spot elsewhere? Because sometimes, you'll notice the big one, but there might be smaller ones elsewhere around the body, and that can give a guide as to what it might be. Very, very important, obviously, not to scratch it and not to pick at it to get rid of it, because that's only going to make matters worse. It'll cause more inflammation. It might risk introducing an infection into the skin, and you could be left with a scar. So I would suggest that what you do with regards to this is have it checked by the doctor, have it checked by the pharmacist, whichever initially is more convenient for you, and then they'll offer you appropriate treatment. So that's probably going to involve a moisturizer. It may, if it's eczema, it might be a steroid cream, or if it's a fungal infection, as I suspect it might be, it's very easily treated with an antifungal treatment. That might be a gel, a cream, and sometimes a spray.
Wonderful. And another question. I've been using the coil for birth control. However, I've noticed that since I've been using it, I get really bad period pains. Is this normal? Do I just need to adjust to it?
I mean, this can be normal. It depends. The sort of questions is how long has the coil been in place? So if it's just been put in place, then it's quite common for it to cause pain. So particularly over the first 3 to 6 months, and then basically as the body gets used to it, it settles down. Okay. The other question to think about is, are you experiencing the pain around the time of your period, or are you experiencing the pain throughout your menstrual cycle? So all the time, or on a regular basis, even when you're not having a period. So those are the sorts of things to be thinking about, because you are going to need to, at least I think, have a phone call with the doctor or the nurse who put the coil in for you, just to talk things through. If it's only been in for a while, then the odds are that it's going to be the body getting used to having the coil there, and it will disappear. It will resolve after 3 to 6 months. If there's a risk of that you might have a sexually transmitted infection, then of course that needs to be tested for, diagnosed, and treated. You may find with the coil actually that you get some spotting as well throughout the menstrual cycle. And the other thing that can happen when you have a coil fitted is not just pain, but periods often get heavier as well, and that can be normal. But what I would urge you to do is, in the first instance, I think just pick up the phone and have a chat with the person, whether it's the doctor or the sexual health or the family planning nurse, whoever put the coil in for you, and talk through what you're experiencing. And then if necessary, you can always pop in to see the doctor and get checked. The other thing is you would have been advised on how to check that the coil is still in place by feeling for the threads of the coil. So if you haven't done that, it's a good idea to do that as well.
Rob, thank you so much. That's it for today.
My pleasure.
And we shall see you again next time.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Well, everyone, now it's time to go to our declutter expert, Sally Walford, and she's going to be talking about decluttering to help those with dementia.
Hello everyone, I'm Sally Walford and I'm the declutter expert on the Chrissy B Show. Today I'm going to be talking about calling in a declutterer when your relative or perhaps somebody you know has started the early signs of dementia. There's lots of reasons to call in and live in a clutter-free environment, so I'd like to share with you some of my top tips on how to make a calmer environment for those that are suffering the early stages. Okay, so my first top tip is to actually use colours around the home. Now this could be also with labelling or just actually even objects that you're going to be looking at to make it easier for the person to find. For example, primary colours really start to trigger memories for people who are suffering from dementia. So once you have a clutter-free bathroom, for example, even get a primary coloured toilet seat or even some of the railings in a different colour can help that person recognise where they're going or what room that they're in. You can also utilise the colours and photos in front of the rooms and make sure that these are at eye level so that the person that often is dealing with dementia doesn't tend to look up, they tend to look straight forward. So this helps them find their way around the home and makes their life a little bit less stressful and easy. So my second top tip is actually an inspiration that I had from one of my clients. And the lady that I was dealing with often forgot which way the town centre was. So actually her son bought her an arrow, and it was a blackboard arrow, and he hung this on the door, the front door, and then he wrote on it, "Town this way," so the arrow always pointed to her. So signals are really important and can often help people that are perhaps feeling slightly confused find the right place that they need to go. So just thinking outside the box there as well, you can use all kinds of signs around the home to help the person who's started to show a few signs of dementia. Okay, going to top tip number 3, clutter-free environment. I mean, I live for a clutter-free environment, but it particularly helps people that are starting to feel slightly confused. Be careful though, because we don't want to become minimalistic, because to suddenly take away everything in that environment can also be incredibly confusing. So my suggestion is to start to declutter and simplify the things, for example, that are in the kitchen. Don't let that kitchen cupboard be full of clutter with hundreds of mugs and lots of different glasses and lots of different plates. Make it easier for the person to see what they've got and also be able to reach and be able to get to everything that they need on a daily basis. So keep those kitchen cupboards and also the rest of the cupboards in the home clutter-free. This is also going to help families as well to start this decluttering process, which is going to help you in the future. Going to my next top tip, I want to share with you a clutter-free environment for the bedroom. Now, I really think that this is important for anybody, so creating a nice, calm, clutter-free environment for sleeping is essential. Again, I'm going to talk about colours here because this works really well. Blue is a really calming colour and can often make a space seem bigger. And I think when space feels bigger, it's slightly more, you're able to breathe and it's a more relaxing environment. So perhaps consider using blue colours in the bedroom unless you want to perhaps even paint the bedroom. Again, you're then going to be colour coding through the home, which is going to help people in the long run. Okay. Going to another top tip. Now this is quite important. Having got lots of advice from Admiral nurses, Dementia UK and lots of people, the one important thing to remember is to clear hallways and stairways and entrances that have perhaps managed to get accumulated with clutter, or even, just moving shoes and bags and things like that people can very easily trip over. So this photo is just showing you how to clear a space, and that's literally clutter-free, but you're not taking away from the character or also from detracting which room it is. Again, not being minimalistic, but we're being realistic and helping that person live a clutter-free life to help them mentally be clutter-free. So there you have it. There's a few top tips that can help you start in preparation or even with the onset of dementia to help that person start to get in control and live a clutter-free life. Don't forget, you can call in a declutter expert for all kinds of reasons, and this is such a great reason that I love to help and start to help families that are in this situation. And that's it for me. Thanks. Back to you, Chrissy.
Well, everyone, time for a break, but do join us for more shortly.
Who knows what MHD stands for? Oh, brilliant. Yes, Mental Health Dance Challenge.
Welcome back to today's Chrissy B Show, everybody. So to dispel the myths and give us the facts about dementia, we have on Louise Bates, who is the Dementia Friends Officer at the Alzheimer's Society. Now she'll be telling us also their 5 key messages. Welcome to the show, Louise.
Thanks very much for having me.
It's lovely to have you on. So Louise, can you tell us about Dementia Friends, how it started and what your role is?
Yes, so Dementia Friends is a national social action movement that aims to increase understanding and awareness around dementia in our communities and inspire people to take action to support those affected in their local communities. So we aim to reduce social exclusion and isolation through education and awareness.
How did you get involved yourself?
So I have a family member personally living with Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So I had a personal connection and then I was fortunate enough to start working with the Alzheimer's Society on the Dementia Friends programme.
So you must be quite passionate then about, because of obviously the personal experience. So can you tell us why there is so much stigma and fear around dementia?
Unfortunately, it's a condition that most people still don't really understand. There are still a lot of myths surrounding the condition. And I think it's what people don't understand. People aren't comfortable discussing, or people aren't comfortable having that conversation or approaching someone when they don't feel they have an understanding of the disease or of the condition. So that's what we're aiming to change with Dementia Friends.
Okay. You've actually got the 5 key messages that you want. Can you go through that
of course.
So obviously to educate everybody?
So our first one is dementia is not a natural part of ageing. So when we think about dementia, it's not something that is inevitable, that's going to happen to all of us, as unfortunately we all will grow older. But also younger people can also be diagnosed with dementia. So it's
really?
not
How young?
People as young as their 20s have been diagnosed.
Really?
Although it's much rarer. to find it in younger people.
Yeah.
Our second key message is that it's caused by diseases of the brain. So this follows on from it not being a natural part of aging. It's caused when diseases physically damage our brain.
Oh, okay. I'm learning a lot today as well already. Yeah, okay. This is
so
good,
we often liken it to, if you imagine that your brain is a collection of thousands and thousands of fairy lights, and each one of those lights represents a different function or skill that your brain performs. And dementia may cause some of those lights to flicker, it may cause some to dim or to switch off completely.
Okay.
And it's such an individualistic condition, so for every person, which lights are affected, the time over which it happens, and that will be different for everyone. So no two people will ever go through the same journey with dementia.
Wow. Okay.
And then our third one, so it's not just about losing your memory. It's when people hear the word dementia, they often associate it with memory loss, but that's not the only symptom of dementia. So dementia can affect any aspect of our brain and any function of our brain. So it could affect someone's language, their communication skills, their can affect memory, but it can also affect mobility. It could affect logic, reasoning. So there's potentially much more to it than simply losing memory.
Yeah.
Our fourth one is that it's possible to live well with dementia. Often, again, when we hear the word dementia in the media, it's always painted in a way that causes people to picture people at end of life in very sad circumstances. But actually, there are lots of people in our communities living with dementia who are still participating, who still have so much to give to our communities. Yeah. And we want to encourage people to really reach out to those people and ensure they're included.
That's really good to know, actually, because sometimes it's true when you hear someone's got dementia, you're thinking, oh, that's it for them and they don't have a future. But that's not true.
But some people may still be able to work, still be able to drive, have relationships. And I think we always have to remember that what someone can do and how long they can do it for is going to depend entirely on their individual circumstances. Yeah. And then our fifth one is that there's more to a person than dementia. So again, unfortunately, dementia has become a key identifier or a label for many people. Yeah. So people can't look past the dementia to really see the person. And when we think about what are all the things that make us us, all of our likes, our dislikes, our hobbies, our interests, our life experience,
that's it.
All of that is still there with someone with dementia.
With these 5 key messages, what impact has this had, around you and, with people you know and the people that you're helping?
Speaking personally, I can say that from working on this programme, it's really opened my eyes and changed the way that I approached things with my family member who's living with dementia. Yeah. And I've seen this messaging really light up so many people. Yeah. I think it's such a positive message. And all of these messages are from people living with and affected by dementia. Really? So the entire programme has been developed in partnership with people living with dementia. So these are the messages they want us to share.
Yeah.
Because they still want to be active and part of our community and involved.
Louise, what does it mean for you to be involved in such a way and be able to spread this message?
I think for me personally, it means so much. It means so much. I remember having a experience where I took my family member out to a theatre to see a performance, and the people around us in the theatre had no understanding that there was more to that, no understanding of why my family member was perhaps behaving the way they were, that there was more to that situation than initially met the eye, that there was an invisible disability there. And so raising awareness of that, so that when people are out in the street every day, if they see someone in need of help, or somebody that they go, oh, that something's not quite right there, people feel confident to approach and ask, are you okay? How can I support you? To really build that sense of community back.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, to be honest, Louise, I've learnt a lot today. I really have learned a lot just through, you've only been on like a few minutes, and I'm sure there's a lot more that maybe you can come on another time and teach us more stuff so that we can know as well. But thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And all the best, with continued success with everything you're doing.
Thank you very much.
So
And
much.
this week is Dementia Action Week, which means that nationwide there will be activities happening across England, Wales, Northern Ireland,
Amazing.
so people can get involved. And if people are interested in learning more, then we offer free Dementia Friends information sessions delivered by volunteers out in our community.
Okay, and what's the website if they want more?
It's dementiafriends.org.uk.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Louise.
Thank you very much.
See you again soon, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody, so now it's time for my final thought of the day. Thank you very much to all my guests that have been on today's programme. And today I'd like to draw on something that Richard was speaking about, where he talked about taking control of his life. I know many times it can seem as though things are out of control. Maybe something quite negative has happened to you, or a situation that you weren't expecting, and it seems like there's nothing that you can do about it. And if you allow it to, that situation can put you down so much and even just destroy your whole life, ruin your whole life. If you think that way, because it all starts with how we think about a situation. If you believe that situation is going to be the end of you, it probably will be. Why? Because you're not going to be looking for solutions. It's like the person will just kind of give up, thinking there's nothing I can do, I might as well just sit here and just see what's going to happen. Doing nothing normally actually makes things worse. There has to be some kind of action on your part. But if you're already thinking it's too late, I can't do anything about this, you're not going to spot any opportunities. Someone might even come and offer you help, but because you already decided that nothing's going to work, that you just refuse that help. And that's the worst situation you can be in, because as long as you believe, as long as you have some kind of hope, that will actually give you the strength and keep you moving towards a solution. So if you want to deal with something, change, first of all, the way you're thinking. Always think to yourself, no matter how bad it seems right now, no matter how dire the situation is, there must be a way out. I have to find a way out. And actually that's what kept me going. As I spoke about before, even though I was depressed and I had all those mental health issues, but inside I held on to that tiny, weeny bit of hope that I had, and that actually kept me going until I found the help that worked. I tried lots of things before I found something that worked for me. I had counselling, I went to my doctor, I tried the exercise and the eating and all that stuff. Some of the things helped. Some of the things alleviated some of the symptoms for a bit of time, but none of those things were a permanent solution for me. So I kept going until I found something that worked for me. And I'm glad I didn't give up, because honestly, I don't know where I'd be today. I was on the actual road to being sectioned in the future, because I was really losing control of my thoughts, my mind, everything. So whatever situation you are in right now, don't lose hope. Do not ever say to yourself, there's nothing that I can do about the situation. Actually, I was at a conference recently, and I was listening to this speaker, and she was great. She was wonderful, this speaker. She was very positive, she was very inspirational and everything, but there's one thing that she said that I didn't agree with. And she said that about a family member, that this family member will always have this condition. And I thought, don't say that. If you say there's never going to be a cure for something, there won't be. You've already decided, and you're not going to look for help. You're not going to. So even though I always respect other people's opinions. I respect other speakers, but I think I just disagreed with that comment, because it's like she's a family member, and if you're already telling her, look, there's no cure for you, there's nothing you can do about this, probably nothing's going to happen. So never ever lose hope, because there is always a solution. Well, everyone, we have reached the end of today's program, but if you have a story that you would like to share, please do get in touch with us by emailing info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet or Instagram us @ChrissyBShow, or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And if you'd like to know more about how I got help through all the mental health issues that I had, please visit my personal website, which is mylifeafterdepression.com. Till next time.